Yes.
Okay, we saw the different states of the promise, right? What are those? Pending,
Yes. Pending,
fulfilled,
fulfilled, rejected, settled.
rejected, and
Rejected,
settled.
settled.
And settled, correct? And
Yes.
also we saw the static methods, resolve, correct?
Resolve,
Promise dot, resolve,
reject,
promise dot, reject. Okay, and we saw
prom.
then. Then is not a promise, static method. Okay,
Yeah.
always we are calling on the object, right? In your
Yes.
old examples also you can see that we called on object. What it takes two functions, right?
Resolve. Yeah.
Sorry, resolve and reject. Two callback
Yes.
functions it will take. Okay, and we also saw the promise dot catch, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Next we will see about the promise chaining. Okay, what is this promise chaining? So suppose in async calls, what will happen? The result of one call is depend on another call, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, we can say the result from A is depending, okay, result from B is depending on the previous call result, correct? In the same way, the result from C depending on result from B, okay? So like this, the flow will go. So whenever we are going to call any promise, right, internally it finally returns again you promise back only. Whenever we call promise.resolve, what it happens, it returns us some promise object only, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, okay, promise chaining. Okay, now I'm going to create one promise is equal to promise dot resolve of, correct? I got iPhone. Okay. So once I got this iPhone, what is my plan? My plan is to get the Amazon subscription, right?
Yes.
Okay, console.log of promise3. If you see what it returns as the promise object, right? Okay, it didn't print anything. So we should not write like this, right? If I refresh this page, you will get that promise chaining and the promise object. So, okay, I will comment the earlier members so that we won't get confused. So now we have a promise object that returns for us. Now again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this promise okay, once this promise got resolved, right, then what it takes the resolve function, right?
Resolve function, yeah.
Okay, resolve whatever the promise that okay, it takes the resolve function. So for this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass you will get the iPhone as a result, right? Promise 3.10. For this, Amazon subscription has taken, right, using the iPhone. Correct? If you see this one, constant promise 4 is equal to, if I print this, correct? If you see the outcome, still it is showing again the promise, right?
Yeah.
Are you seeing?
Yes, yes.
Even this method also then also return as the promise object back. Correct? So it resolved with the Amazon subscription has been taken with the new iPhone. Correct? Now, once we got the Amazon subscription, what we can do? Constant promise 5 is equal to promise 4 dot then, right? Resolve.
Yeah.
I can say watching movies with this Amazon Prime subscription, right?
Yeah.
So promise 5. Now, if you see, again, this also returns promise for us. So what it returns? It returns as the watching movies with Amazon subscription
Yes.
has taken. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so see, every promise is returning again the promise only. What are the methods that we have inside of the promise? Again, internally it returns us the promises back. So what I can do, I can combine these and I can write in a single statement, correct? How I can write?
Yes.
Promise dot resolve of, correct, got iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Once I got iPhone, dot then Okay, dot then next. We can say finally dot then final result console.log. Understood? If I call this one, what will happen? 41. What happened? Okay, we should not close the statement there itself, correct?
Yeah.
You can see watching movies with Amazon subscription has got iPhone.
Okay.
Okay. So you understood, right, how this promise chaining is working?
Yeah.
So whenever we create a promise object got created. So whatever the on then, right? Next we are calling again then object or the then method on this promise by returning resolve and returning some value, right? Okay, so this return value or this then again returns as a promise back. So if we call again the next then, what will happen? Whatever we return from here, this becomes the resolved values to the next promise then. Correct? Again, if you see, again this will becomes the for the next value, right? In the same way the chaining will follows, correct?
Yes.
Okay, this is, we call it as a promise chaining. Okay, we can change the promises to get the results from multiple promises easily. Any doubts?
No.
Okay. Next. Okay, I will take one promise. Okay, I can say number promise, right? Promise dot resolve of 5 we are going to get, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take another promise or another function. What it will do? Just it returns me the multiply by 2, right? If I pass a number, just it returns me the number into 2. Clear? Now, if I call the number promise dot then, what value we are going to get?
10.
10. How? Correct? What value we are getting?
5.
How? You are saying 10. Did we call anywhere this method?
Yeah.
We called.
We called only number promise.
Correct? So what it returns? What it is resolving?
Only the first chain.
Only it returns 5, right?
Yeah.
So this resolved value will goes to your then function as an argument. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So then only you are getting console.log resolve means it goes as a 5 value. Next. Clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So instead of resolving the value, I am returning, okay, multiply by 2 by passing resolved value. Correct?
Yeah.
Now what it returns? Now it doesn't return anything. Correct?
Yes.
It returns, but we are not printing any value. Correct? If we want to print the value, what we can do? We can write dot then at resolve console.log of resolve.
Resolve.
Right?
Yeah.
Now what it prints? It prints the value of 10.
10.
Next. Instead of printing, what I will do? I will call this method. Now tell me what should be the value of final value. Okay, first time it will be
320.
10, right?
Yeah.
320. 20, correct?
Yeah.
30, sorry, 40,
40.
80, correct?
Yes.
60, exactly, 320. Great.
20.
Now finally we will see the output of 320.
Okay.
Now, hope you understood finally the promise chaining, correct?
Yeah.
Next, we have to see different methods of promises. So, I'll open the documentation. Okay, promises. Okay, so far we have created the promises by using resolve or reject, correct?
Yes.
Now we are going to create the promise object by using the constructor. Okay, let me go there. Okay, fine. So it seems I don't have proper document. So promise object creation, I can search it. Okay, master the JavaScript. Where is this new operator? Okay, fine, no issue. So we can create the promise by using the constructor as well. Okay. So if you see here, we have a promise. So far, we created the promises by using resolve and reject. Correct?
Yeah.
Got iPhone. But the actual promise is going to be resolved or rejected. We don't know, right?
Yeah.
So we should not make a decision for the promise to be resolved or reject. Correct? So we have to create a promise that should take decision in the future whether it should be resolved or rejected, correct?
Yes.
Okay. For this, we have promise constructor, correct? New promise. Okay, it takes two arguments. Okay, which takes only one argument. That takes a function as an argument. In this function, it takes two parameters. What are those? Resolve and reject. Understood? So it returns as a promise object, and always it takes the parameter as a constructor parameter as a function. Under this, you will have two parameters for that function, resolve and reject. So if the promise is resolved, so I can say we will write the logic to perform, right? To perform whether we have to do a resolve or reject decision on this logic, correct? I can say results out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the child passed with the exam. Okay, so what mother is going to do? The mother is going to resolve with a new iPhone, right?
Yes.
Understood?
Yeah.
So if the child has not passed the exam, this is one reason, correct?
Mm.
To reject not to fulfill the promise, correct?
Yes.
Reject, I can say did not pass the exam. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah. So now we can create a promise by using the promise constructor. Inside the promise constructor, it takes two parameters. What are those? Function resolve and reject, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The function takes two parameters, resolve and reject. Okay. This resolve is going to be called whenever the promise is going to be resolved. Correct? If the promise is going to be rejected, that time this reject is going to be called by passing the reject function. Clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now we are going to create the promise by using the constructor. Promise object creation using constructor. Okay. Now, how we can create a constructor or promise? Promise is equal to new promise of what it is going to take. It is going to take a function, correct?
Function. Yeah.
What it takes? Two parameters, right? Resolve, reject. Okay, here we are going to write a logic to fetch the student exam result, right?
Yes.
I can say let result is equal to passed. Okay, exam pass, correct?
Yeah.
If result is equal to pass, so what we are going to do? We are going to resolve this one by using the iPhone, right?
Yes.
Next. Else, I will reject this if the student did not pass the exam. Reject, failed. Now, I created a promise. If I print this promise, right? So, what we will get? Is the promise has fulfilled? Okay, we will see what we are getting as a output. So, I mixed the both the normal function as well as arrow function. That is wrong, right?
Yes.
Okay, now you can see the promise with fulfilled. Correct, iPhone. So if we want to call this promise, right? How we can do it? Promise dot then, correct?
Yeah, promise then of resolve.
Resolve. What it takes a callback function. Correct? Console dot log resolve. Okay, what you will get as a argument to our function is resolve result, right?
Yeah.
The same we saw earlier also. Now, if you see, if I refresh this, you will see the result as iPhone. Understood? Yeah. Next, what I will do? Next, I will create another fail promise. Correct? Fail promise. If I call this fail promise dot then, right, I can say null. I know this promise is going to fail. I'm not passing any parameter to the first call, correct?
Yeah.
Reason console.log reason. Right? If we are going to see this, okay, we have to update this to fail, correct? You saw if I mention pass, right? What happens? Always it returning the resolved one only, correct?
Yeah.
That's why you are not seeing any output of rejected value. Understood, right? Now, I will change this to fail. Now you can see the failed reason also, correct? rejected result.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we have created the promises, right? So how many promises we have created?
1.
2 promises, right? Past promise and
Yeah.
failed promise. Okay. So now if we are going to use the promise dot all, correct? You remember yesterday we discussed promise dot all.
Yes, yes. All promises should go.
Correct. It takes the multiple promises as an array, correct?
Yes.
Okay. P1, P2 is going to take P3, correct? So what it will do, it returns us the back an array of or the promises result of all these promises. Okay. So unless and until it doesn't finish any promise, it won't return anything back. Okay, so it returns the values like P1 resolved value, correct?
Yeah.
Comma P2 resolved value, comma P3 resolved value. Okay, like this, it is going to return a promise, return a result of from this promise dot all. Okay, now we are going to see about the promise dot all, how it is going to work. Okay, now I'm going to create some promises, right? Okay, constant P1 is equal to, how we can create a promise? New promise,
New
right?
promise. Yeah.
So first we will create promise dot resolve of P1, right? Okay, first we will go simple, right? Simple way. Now, if I want to promise all right at a time, P1, P2, P3. Now, what you are going to get as a result? Okay, you are going to get again another promise back, right? Promise dot all also returns another promise back for us, correct? It contains the result array of 3. Are you with me? Okay, now if I am going to call this result dot then, right?
Yeah.
Resolved val. So what we are going to get here? We are going to get promise result as a array, right? Are you seeing?
Yes.
Okay. So promise dot all also returns us the again this also returns us one promise, right?
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yes. Right.
Yeah. So once we have right result, that resolved value contains the array of each promise result, whether it is rejected or resolved. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah. So suppose if I mention another promise constant P4 is equal to promise dot reject, right? I can say P4 rejected. So if I going to make P4, right? So what it is going to happen? You will get an exception. Are you seeing?
Yes.
Okay, uncaught in promise P4 rejected.
Okay.
Okay, but so if you see, if I go to the 91 statement, you are getting a result as a rejected value. You are seeing here the rejected value you are getting as a result. What happened to other promises that are resolving in this array, correct? So did they are going to make any result? No, right? Since any one of the promise inside of the promise all array is rejected, all the promises are not going to be executed. Only the rejected promise result we will get back. Clear?
Yes.
Now, if I write rejected, correct, console.log rejected. Okay, if I refresh this, you will get only the direct value of rejected. Correct? Only the direct value. Earlier, in case of success, you will get only the array of all the resolved values. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, we will see the next example using the timeouts, how it is going to work. Okay. Now, I'm going to create the multiple promises with different timeouts. Okay, constant T11 is equal to, okay, new promise, right? What it takes, promise, resolve, comma, reject, correct?
Yeah.
Earlier we have written the function, now I'm writing arrow function.
Okay.
Okay. Now, here some logic is going to execute in a stipulated time, right? Set timeout. Now, what it takes the first argument for this set timeout? It takes a function, right? Correct?
Yeah.
The second argument takes
Milliseconds.
milliseconds. Okay, after how many milliseconds the set timeout wants to execute, that it is going to specify, right?
Yes.
7000. Are you seeing?
Yes.
Now, I can say console.log of P11 promise. Okay, this set of statements will be executed after 7 milliseconds. Correct? So, I can resolve this promise whenever this is going to be executed, right?
Yes.
Understood? Any doubt here?
No.
Now, I will create different promises similar to like this. Okay, I will mark this as a 10,000 seconds. I will mark this as a 2000 seconds. Correct? Now, constant result is equal to, right? Promise dot all. What it takes? It takes an array of promises. Correct? P11,
Yeah.
P12, P13. Okay, so console.log of result. So here, okay, whenever we call this, what will happen? Okay, for your, if you want this file, then you can refer easily. That's okay. So what will happen? Console.log of result. So all the code is going to be executed asynchronously, right?
Yes.
Nothing is going to wait until it finishes any timeouts or async calls. Now, if I refresh this page, you will get the result back with the promise with a pending state. Are you seeing?
Yeah.
Okay, now if I refresh this page, first it executed which promise? P13 promise, since it requires only the 2 seconds, correct?
Yes.
Next, P11 promise executed, since it requires only 5 seconds. Next, P12 promise is executed, it requires only 7 seconds, correct?
Yes.
So now our promises are resolving in future, right? Am I right or wrong?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Once we got this promise back, what is our plan? Just I want to print those promises information. I can say resolved result is equal to console.log of resolved result. Now, is this statement is going to be executed immediately? If you see here, is this one executed immediately?
No.
If I write after promise then, correct? If I refresh this page, you can see after promise then came, correct? But our result.then is waiting to fulfill the promise.all.
So result dot then will execute after all these promises executed.
Correct.
Okay.
Since our promise.all also returns as a promise back. Correct? Since why it returns a promise? Since whatever the promises that we are passing to all method, it doesn't know how much time it takes to complete all the promises. Understood?
Yeah.
So what it returns? It returns again a promise. Once all the promises are fulfilled, it is going to update its state of this resulted promise. Once it is all the promises are resolved, then it is going to call the then method of the promise by passing the resolved result. Clear? Any doubts?
No.
No, right? Yeah. Okay. Now we are going to see the Ajax callback. You are facing the issue, right? So today I am stopping here, since if I go more, you will get confused, correct? Okay, tomorrow we are going to see how our promise callback hell, how we have to resolve the callback hell by using our promises.
Okay.
Understood, right?
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll see that. So now you are facing the issue with Ajax. So where I have written the this is our example, right? Okay, I will open these two. So here we are calling the get user details, right?
Yes.
Okay, process response we are calling. Okay. Now here what you can do, right? You can pass one callback function to this get user details. So what I will do, function get user info. I can make one info, right? This function I am going to call from my Ajax call. Okay. Now, whenever I want to get the results back, right? So what I'm doing, I'm doing process response, correct?
Yeah.
So when this is going to be called, this process response, whenever this completes the request, right? Correct? Whenever this ready state is going to be changed to 4, that time only this loop will come, or this if condition will come, and this is going to be called this process response. So here what I will do callback. Okay, I'm saying callback once your request is successful. Okay, get user details. I'm passing process response.
Okay.
Now what will happen? It is going to call this get user details by passing the function as a argument to your get user details. Okay, this function we are not calling immediately. Okay, after completion of your response only, or after completion of your request, then only call me this callback function. Correct? Something like if I ask okay to come for a movie, like, or if I want to talk with you for some time. Okay, so what you will say? You will say that you are having some work, you will be busy, I will be called back after some time. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so this call back after some time means when you are going to call back after completion of your work, right? So in the same way, here this callback function is going to be called after completion of the execution of request. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. So if we run this, okay, if I call this, you will get the results back. Clear, right?
Yes.
So now you have to do this example, whatever I told earlier, right? Please complete that for tomorrow. So you will be understood better if we do it by using promises.
Okay.
Okay, so recently I had done one example by using promise.l. all, like something like, okay, if you see, I have a file upload, you know, right? Okay, file upload feature. So here I have file select. Correct? User will choose the documents what he wants to upload. So now, after choosing the documents, what it is doing, user can select the multiple documents. Okay, abc.txt, 345.txt, 456.txt. Like this, user can select. Okay, we have a upload button, correct? To perform the upload action. Okay, this upload button will perform an AJAX call, and it uploads all the files. Uploads all the files. Okay, here we can upload all the files in one AJAX call. We can upload all in one AJAX call, or we can upload one by one. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, which approach you are going to use? So if we want to upload one by one, so my requirement is, in my project, they don't want to upload all files in one AJAX call. Okay, so they want to upload all files, right? One by one they want to upload. Okay, if any one of the upload fails, they want to reject all the other files as well.
Okay.
So what is the best approach that we have to follow? If we use promise.all, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, how many files you have, right? That many promises you have to create and add to this promise.all array. Clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in this way, you will have a real-time examples will come. Okay, based on the requirement, we have to think what is the suitable for us based on the requirement. We have to identify and use the corresponding methods. Okay, tomorrow we will meet with our next examples. Okay, bye.
Bye.